Welcome back to this week's Whole Wheat Costa. I'm excited because our original beer table's back. Last week I used like a folding table that like lonely single dads used to eat their TV dinner.
Why did we use a different beer table? I wasn't really clear on it last week.
I had all my taxes on this table,
Okay, makes sense.
and we have a new beer. We have Allagash, 16 counties. It is a Belgian ale,
Could
I
be.
think.
So what I know about it is that the beer's name honors the rich tradition of farming in the 16 counties of Maine. Keeping with that sentiment, we brew the beer with grains exclusively grown and processed in Maine, including Maine Malthouse 2 Row, malted barley from Buck Farms, Blue Ox Malthouse 2 Row, malted barley, raw wheat from Maine grains, and oats from Aurora Mills and Farm.
So, funny thing about the company I work for, our biggest competitor, also one of our main customers,
Hmm.
because they do like the same thing we do. Well, not my company, but like another business unit in my company. They do the same thing. They just supply different aerospace companies with,
Yeah.
with just everything, like every nut and bolt. Um, Allagash is 50 industrial way. My company's main competitor is 10 industrial way. So I don't
Oh.
know if it's bad. Like when I first started working in my job, I like I recognized the address, and I'm like, am I an alcoholic? Because I know where a brewery's address is.
Probably, considering it's in Maine. I can see if you knew where like the Yards Brewery was, maybe, but
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, this seems familiar, and I like compared it to it. I was like, oh, they're a block away.
So time before the podcast, and JD reminded me, as he often does, not to clear my throat in the microphone. But I'll have you know, I took some PEDs before this, some podcast enhancing drugs.
Uh,
So
the Russian Russian curling
mm,
team was caught for for taking performance enhancing drugs.
how would it even
Curling.
benefit them?
Uh, I don't know.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
I guess you need some stamina to like,
It's a 40-pound piece of granite,
yeah.
and like you need to move. Like it taks some skill,
Oh, it takes a
but
lot of skill, but it doesn't take a lot of physical effort. I
yeah,
mean,
like I've seen fat people do it,
yeah. I mean
and
the
but
John Schuster has his teams won like the U.S. championships like the last I think 3 Olympic years. So basically, men's American curling is basically John Schuster. He's like a fat guy. I mean, he's not like real fat, but like he's pretty chubby. He is like you wouldn't look at John Schuster and think athlete.
yeah, come on, Russia, just stop taking the drugs. Like
Yeah,
they're gonna test, they're gonna catch it.
yeah. But mine are so I've been like sick-ish since Thursday. Like, you know that feeling when like you're getting sick, but you're not sick yet.
Yeah.
I felt that way for 5 days now.
Did you get to the point where you're like, "Ah, maybe I should call out, and then you wake up, you're like, I can't call out. Like
Yeah,
it's in
that's how I felt this morning.
it's only February, and you have another 10 months to waste your 2 weeks of vacation.
Yeah. Um. But yeah. So I took. So well, first I definitely overdosed on Afrin because the bottle was like close to empty, and I tilted it a little bit. I shot a whole stream of Afrin up my nose. So
Feeling better?
I basically neti potted with Afrin. So I don't know what my sinuses are like right now. And then since I apparently have asthma now, I use the albuterol. So I'm like,
Yeah, the albuterol with I think it's right here. It's in one of my jackets, but
yeah,
um, the with insurance is $60.
yeah,
And it's been out for years.
yeah, no, the inhaler I used was, or I just got it for the first time, like a couple months ago. Last time I was like had a cold, and it was $30. I thought that was crazy. I mean, albuterol is like the oldest drug. Like I feel like in the hospital we just like if somebody has like an albuterol neb, like you don't even think about it. Like it's not.
Yeah. Mine was
Uh,
60,
yeah, that's crazy.
and I pay like a ton of money for the best insurance they
Yeah,
have. Oh, I have good news.
yeah.
And one guy made he was like making fun of me about it because I had just recently in December gotten my passport.
Mhm.
So I had finally made plans and reserved a hotel to go to Toronto.
Nice.
So I'm going to go to Niagara Falls, and then I'm going to spend 2 nights in Niagara Falls and then 2 nights in Toronto. So I'm going to go out of the country for the first time ever. And then the one guy from FedEx, he delivers every day. I talk to him. He's like, "Well, if you're gonna leave the country, why don't you like leave the country?" And I'm like, "Well, can Canada trip for like 4 days cost $600-700?"
Yeah, and you can drive.
Yeah, and I could drive, and that's including hotels and food and
Yeah.
driving. And I was like, a trip to like Italy, where I want to go, is $2,500
Yeah.
plus food and spending and looking around. So I can save up for that. Now I have the opportunity to go, go overseas, but I'll stay local.
Yeah. It's really weird. It really depends what you want to do. Because like I remember why I was talking to somebody sometime, and I just I obviously didn't follow through with it, but I had the idea. I was like, just out of curiosity, I was like, yeah, let me look at if we just went to like England tomorrow, and it wouldn't be that. I mean, the plane ticket, the cheapest plane ticket was only like a few $100 for like a round trip plane ticket. And I'm sure most of the time it's way more expensive than that. It must have been like a freak thing. I don't know what day of the week it was. It was like a few $100, and you could probably get there and just stay in a cheap hotel. Like if you just wanted to go, like if you want to do touristy things, you could probably spend like a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
But like you could just go to a place in the world and probably not spend. I mean, you don't spend that much money in your own city.
Right. Well, the thing is, like, I could do it tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
if I could get off of work, and I could put it on my credit card. But
Yeah.
you don't want to put stuff on your credit card that you can't afford anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I understand you do it for emergencies, but
Mm.
like, I don't want to use my credit card for fun.
Yeah. Well, no, I agree with that. Yeah, yeah. Like I pretty much my line of credit that's now maxed out. Like was all for, I would say 90% of it was for like essential things at the time, and now I can start paying it back down. But that I've hit maximum future debt.
Yeah. Talking about debt and what the banks call positive debt
Yeah,
would be like your mortgage, your car payment, your
divorce.
school loans.
Get,
No,
get the
no,
divorce stuff
no,
over with.
no, just that kind of stuff. It's like
Yeah.
debt, that not a negative impact on your credit.
Yeah.
And so my positive debt is my school loan. So I paid my first school loan because I paid a lot of school out of pocket, but my school loan was like 34,790, right?
Okay.
So I paid like $400, and then
Yeah.
the next day, like the interest hit,
Mhm.
and it was like 35,435, and I was like,
Yeah. It's annoying.
it went up $300. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know.
So
They have like a whole. So they redid the like I guess it's like the Sally Mae website. I don't know. It's like Naviant or whatever is like the what it's called now. But I think only for some people. But anyway, for the federal student loans, it's kind of cool. They redid the site now. I just like paid paid part of my loans yesterday, or like my monthly payment, and now you can like sort it. So like if you want to put extra, you can sort it by like your highest interest loan, or sort it by like your highest or lowest
Right.
amount loan. I
Right.
thought that was a cool feature. I only have 2 loans, so it's not really.
I have 7
So,
loans.
Yeah.
So it's pretty. I mean, it's all the same processor, so I
Yeah.
could probably, I probably should consolidate that.
Yeah. When it's
'Cause,
that many, probably. Well, what's the interest rate on them?
4.
Okay, well, I think that's what mine is.
Yeah.
It might be a little lower, but I don't know. Would it be like appreciably
Oh,
lower?
um,
So you would pay less per month, but you wouldn't pay them off as fast, right? If you
Right.
consolidated them. So.
yeah. Well, it's all the same processor, so like you pay off one, and then it just rolls into the next one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. But do you have to make separate small payments on each one?
no.
Okay.
You just make it because it's all the same company. It's
Okay.
the government, and you just pay for it, and like everything still just collects it. And it's terrible.
Yeah.
So I was reading, and one of our listeners could correct me, but excuse me. So this beer is delicious.
Yeah.
It's easy to drink. So you have 3 or 4, like you'd be pretty buzzed.
That's good. Yeah, I'm definitely just drinking the one
Yeah,
today.
it's like 7.5%. But
Es- Especially being sick on my peds going to the gym after
Yeah.
this.
but
We'll see
anyway,
what happens.
what was I saying?
If I die, I'm at the Cherry Hill
Planet
Planet
Fitness.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
come find me.
I forget what I was gonna say completely. So
We're talking about student loans.
student loans, right?
One processor,
Yeah.
paying them off.
Oh, unsecured and secured loans.
Yeah.
One, I forget which one. One goes away when you file bankruptcy, and the other does not.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Huh.
that's. I think that's the difference between them. I mean, there's a lot of differences, but
Yeah.
one goes away
Yeah.
and the other does not.
The other thing is the federal loans too, because I was thinking about when I was doing like more debt consolidation stuff, like because all my other debt is with Wells Fargo. So I was thinking about consolidating my student loans with Wells Fargo too. This is what I had 3 of them before I paid the one off, and the only bad thing about that is then you can't defer them. Like when they're with the government, if you like lost your job or something, you can like say I can't pay them and then
Right.
just hold them. But if you consolidate them with like another company, then you don't have that protection.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I won't defer anyway
Yeah,
because I can. Eh.
yeah. I defer like a moron.
Yeah. Well, if I go back to school, like people are like, you should defer. You can defer, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to. Like my loan's not that bad. Where yeah, because I'll still be working full time. Like
Yeah,
nothing about my life will change. I'll just be busier, and I'll go into more debt.
yeah. So I graduated undergrad in 2007, and then I deferred the loans as I was in grad school, even though I was working full time and living at my parents' house. So I had plenty of money to pay them, but I was just like, yeah, fuck it, I'll just defer them. So now it's what 2018. So okay, so I finished grad school in like 2013, I want to say. And then so now it's 2018. I like just within the last few months paid those loans back to their original principals because it's just 5 years of interest just accrued because
Yeah.
I was they were
Right.
deferred. It was really stupid. So any kids listen to this? Don't defer.
Don't
the
defer.
loans. Yeah.
Hey, did you notice my new blinds in the studio? My new curtains?
It's nice.
They're
Yep.
blackout. They're
Wait.
blackout curtains.
All right.
Yeah, they don't work that great in the morning. Uh, the sun's super powerful, but at night they're great.
Okay.
The whole room's pitch black.
They really block out the moon.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
not like sun grade blackout curtains, but like moon grade. Certainly.
yeah. I think they just mean for night. And I mean, it was pretty dark in here on
Mm.
Saturday or Sunday morning.
Mm.
I bought them Saturday, but like Sunday morning, it was pretty dark in here. Like if I had a day job, I could sleep with them. The last curtains that were in here, they were so old. My
Yeah.
allergies are actually better
Oh, good.
in the studio.
Yeah.
With the new curtain, like it just threw them out, and they
That's better.
work and they're not sun bleached and they're almost the same color. Those were like light blue. These are dark gray.
Yeah, your toilet paper roll and the
Yeah,
curtain rod. It's
still
good.
there
It's good.
for blowing my nose.
Yeah. I had assumed that was what it was for.
Yeah.
Anything else would be strange in bed.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So okay. So I feel like we talked about a lot of real boring stuff
Yeah.
at this point. So anyone that's stuck with us to this point, there's probably more of the same to come.
Yeah.
But so we saw Marvel live on Saturday.
It was awesome.
Oh,
Like
it was-
where did Doctor Strange come from?
Yeah, I don't know. So I haven't seen that movie yet. I want to watch it now. But it was good. We took Sam's first like pregame cheesesteak run. He didn't eat a cheesesteak and he was real whiny. And then we had to call Kelly. We had to FaceTime Kelly so she could yell at him, and then he ate fine after that.
Yeah, he was like in a good mood.
yeah,
And we got one thing of fries for all of us, and he's like, "Stop eating my French fries." And you're like, "It's all of our French fries, bud." He's like, "We're sharing," and he's like, "No, stop eating my French fries." And he was real whiny.
Yeah.
But then, like once he talked to Kelly, he was like in a great mood, and then
Yeah.
he was just. Then we would take turns telling him, and then like I would Spider-Man run with him, so he'd pretend shooting the web, and then you run with him, and he gets like he was happy. And then at the end of it, you asked him if he liked Hulk,
Yeah.
and he said yeah, and he was asleep.
Yeah, it was a shame. So, well, I don't know. So I thought Marvel Live was good. I mean, I'm always a pessimist, but I thought it could have been a little better. It was definitely cool, but I feel like there could have been more acrobatics and stuff. Like, I just feel like for, a Marvel show and for like,
Yeah, you are pessimistic because it was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know.
For what it was, it's a
Yeah.
live show. They use lights for all the backgrounds,
Yeah.
and I thought it was just going to be straight Marvel the whole time.
Yeah.
But like each not the small ones, but each scene had like they had different things. Like they had like the Chinese dancers, and then that was about 10 minutes, and then they had like
Yeah.
a big motorcycle stunt chase that was like a couple minutes.
See, I feel like those things were the coolest things.
Yeah,
like
then
like the
I-
non-Marvel stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what the point was, and
Yeah.
then they had a like fire dancers, like African fire
That
dancers.
was awesome. I think I
Yeah.
took a picture of.
So yeah, I took a video of
Yeah.
like 20 seconds of it. So
Yeah.
I think I think if there was more of that, like there was a lot of Marvel stuff, but if there was more of that, it'd be less Marvel and more like acrobats and like circusy stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that was the best part about it.
Yeah. Well, I just felt like, like I felt like Spider-Man was like I don't know. I felt like the guys were like just guys. Like I felt like the guy that played Spider-Man should have been like an awesome like acrobat. And he was pretty good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like he was doing crazy flips the whole time he was out there and stuff. Just like little things like that. Like, it was fine. Like the story was pretty cool. I haven't seen all the movies, so I don't know if the story of this was like, related a lot to the stories of any of the movies.
Not really. No,
Yeah.
they're just the same characters.
Yeah.
And the Hulk came out. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, Sam just wanted to see Spider-Man, and then he wanted to see Hulk smash, and then he, like the last 5 minutes, I could definitely tell he was asleep, and it was like, you're right, the Hulk's about to come out. So then the Hulk transformed, and I'm like shaking him, like, Sam, it's the Hulk, you gotta wake up, it's the Hulk. And he definitely opened his eyes, and he says he remembers it, but I don't know.
I think he felt immediate back to the
Yeah.
But I just thought it was cool. Like I thought the whole thing was cool because they draw your attention to one side, and then like more characters or like something. The
Yeah.
way they did it was really cool because you don't actually see things happen.
Yeah.
It would like there was just a taxi cab out there. Like I saw the taxi cab coming out, but like if you didn't really pay attention to that, there was a taxi cab out there, and then Spider-Man punched the guy into the taxi
That
cab.
was cool when
or-
the cab, like,
the
broke.
cab like broke,
Yeah.
and then they were over in the corner, and then the next thing you notice, like Doctor
Strange is
Strange
there.
was
Yeah.
on top of it. Like
Yeah, I didn't see him.
like it was like a magic trick. Like I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
And then the Chinese dancers came down, but you just see these curtains, these yellow curtains that looks like a tube of curtains, and then
Yeah.
these women like pop out and do stuff. You're like,
Yeah.
so
If only they happen all the time.
yeah, it was
These
like
curtains are just curtains.
it was a show. It was a sideshow, and they did like sleight of hand, like large scale sleight of
Yeah, it
hand,
was
which
good.
I thought was cool. And then they had the where are the lights, because it was mostly like all the sets were just like lights
Yeah.
on one like white set,
Mm.
and there's a big like the big world the thing holding all the lights. I don't know what that's called, gaffers or whatever.
Yeah.
That's where like a lot of the people came down from, but it was so dark you couldn't see the people crawling around.
Yeah.
And like they had different like props coming down from it. It was really well put together.
Yeah, it was definitely good. It was a little strange that we got there and the doors opened at the time that it was supposed to start. Like people were stuck outside, and then like we kind of assumed like, oh, maybe the doors opened at 3 and then like you get in there, but by the time we got in, it already started. Yeah. So it was a little strange. I don't know what the issue was with that, but yeah. So yeah, it was cool. And then the rest of my Saturday night.
Wait, real quick.
Yeah.
Part of me was confused because the first we saw, which is kind of cool, like the dirt bike guys. We saw them warming up
Oh yeah.
as we were going by, and then like Captain America, who was obviously one of the dirt bike guys that we saw warming up,
Yeah.
and Black Widow came out, right?
Dude in a wig.
Yeah, and I was like, is that a dude in a wig? Like the whole time, I'm like, Black Widow's totally a dude in a wig. But later on,
Yeah.
more dirt bike guys came out. So I was like, oh, it could have been,
Maybe one of them.
they probably got like an actual woman to ride a dirt bike, because that would have been like real weird.
Girls don't ride dirt.
Yeah.
Definitely all dudes in wigs.
Yeah. But that was pretty cool. They had like the dirt bikes and the little ramps, and then they did the stunts. But I have to say my favorite part was definitely the fire dance.
Yeah, it was real like Moana. But yeah, the rest. So the rest of my Saturday night, I was trying not to be annoying, which is sometimes hard.
super hard for you.
Yeah. So I talked about it before. I always dislike when other stuff happens on the same weekends. And the whole weekend was good, but we consider it a suboptimal weekend when there's like a lot of other stuff going on.
Oh, by the way, if you haven't caught on, Kev likes things his way. That's it.
Yes, well, it's the right way. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I did the math before of like what percentage of the year is a Sam weekend. So I feel like we could all just put time aside for it. But yeah, so Kelly's friend Brittany, it was her birthday last week, so they went over somebody's house on Saturday, just like a house party. And the last time this happened on the Sam weekend, I was kind of irked about it because like I'm not going to go because I'm spending time with Sam. So it's just like a big hat. It's annoying. Because then like we don't do our normal Saturday night like family stuff that we do. Then Kelly goes. It's more annoying whenever Kelly goes out. She has to spend like 2 hours getting dressed up, and it's like you're just basically going over somebody's house with all your friends. Like, what's the deal? But I didn't say that stuff this time. But
right, you gotta learn to live with it because it's
Yeah.
gonna happen more and more.
yeah,
But I mean, it's almost at the point where so far it's like 1 out of every 10 Sam weekends.
Yeah, no,
so
no.
it's not as big of a deal.
no, I think the last time this happened, it was like 2 or 3 weekends in a row when I got last time I got like real annoyed because I was like, every fucking Sam weekend, like this is ridiculous. Like, don't they do anything else besides like fucking Saturday nights when like we have Sam? Like, I don't know, but yeah, it's been a while. So what, sort of fine on that end.
You could be growing as a person.
Yeah, I think a little bit. So, but then I was annoyed, right? Because then, so we started a plan. So we figured, Kelly was going to stay out super late because if I was going to come get her, like I'd have to wake up, or at least throw Sam or Sam and Allie in the car, depending on where Allie was.
Well, we talked about this one time.
Yeah.
We dropped Kelly off,
Yeah.
and the kids fell asleep in the car.
Yeah.
We were like, "Go to bed, guys!" And it was 7 p.m.
But yeah. So my plan would be, so like I'd have to throw them in the car. They go back to sleep, but they wake up a little bit to go get her. So she wasn't going to stay real late. So our plan was I was going to pick her up at like midnight or something. And I was fine with that because Allie ended up staying over Kelly's mom's house. And then I figured, Sam was super tired, obviously, since he fell asleep during Marvel Live. So I figured he would go to bed by like 9 o'clock, and then I was going to play Civilization because I feel like that makes the time fly by.
Yeah, you want to see what your next iteration, and
Exactly.
6 or 7 hours later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. I put Sam to bed, I started playing Civilization, and Kelly would be texting me at midnight, like, "Oh, are you coming to get me?" And I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I'll be right there."
Yeah.
So,
Here's the thing about like Civ
yeah.
games. Like, if your house is cold, just
Yeah.
play that, and your computer will get so hot
Yeah.
from rendering.
Exactly. But it's awesome. So that was my plan. But then, also during the day, if it snowed really bad, she wasn't going to go because of that. So we had to drive around in the snow. So like when we were out with Marvel Live, it was like raining. And then like even when we were leaving the house, it was like starting to be like a little sleet, but it looked like fine. We were like, maybe you leave like a little bit early. We'll see what the weather does. And then by the time we got to South Philly, it was like blizzard.
Oh, when you dropped her off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even like a little before, it was like blizzard. It was like big, heavy snowflakes. Like the top of the car was coated, even though we were driving. Like that's how heavy the snowfall was. So then Kelly was like, well, what should we do? Should we just go? Should I just not go? And then I was like, honestly, I don't want to make that decision. I was like, to be honest, like I'm trying. I was like, I tried really hard today to not be annoying. So like, yeah, I would rather we just go home. But like, I'm not going to make that call because I'm trying not to be annoying. And then she's like, well, what if I just, stay for a couple hours and I leave like, like 9:30 or something. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I was like, again, that's fine. But like, I'm totally not making that call. Like whatever you want to do is fine.
Right.
And then she was like, well, what do you think is safe to do? Because like how bad the snow has fallen. And I was like, honestly, it really doesn't matter. I was like, I have to drive in the snow all the time for work. So I feel like I'm a pretty good snow driver. So it's really just random chance. Like we could drive home right now and get in a car accident. I could come 4 hours from now and it could be, 3 feet of snow and it could be fine. Like it's not, it probably doesn't matter that much.
it's weird because I was talking to the guy I trained with today,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, we went out to dinner," because he just had a kid like 6 months ago,
Yeah.
maybe, and like him and his wife, like they didn't have the kid for the first time in 6 months, so
Yeah.
they went out to dinner.
That's cool.
And he's like, we were driving down 295, then 55, and the snow was. He's like, the snow was terrible, and then
Yeah.
driving back like was blinding. But my house, I drove. I was fine. I drove to Wawa. I made like other stops, and it
Yeah.
was like a snow. There was like a snow flurry like here and there,
Yeah.
and a couple people.
crazy.
You're like the third person that told me like it was blizzard, and I was
Yeah.
like, it didn't snow here.
It was like one of the heaviest snowfalls I've ever seen.
Yeah. The next morning,
Yeah.
like there was it was like a thick icy sheet of snow like on my car,
Yeah.
but it didn't snow here. Like I probably could have drove all night in
Yeah.
this area.
Well, so then our updated plan was she was going to stay for a couple hours. I was going to pick her up. And I was like, okay, so instead of putting Sam to bed, I'll go to my parents' house. You know, me and Sam will hang out there. It was my mom's birthday anyway. So I was like, so I'll hang out there for a couple hours. Then I'll just leave Sam there so he doesn't have to drive in the snow again, and I'll come get you. And driving home was terrible. I didn't even, like, I was on 95 for one exit, and it was, like, too bad. And I got off and just went real slow down like Delaware Ave and Aramingo the whole way. So it took like 45 minutes to get home.
That's crazy because it's like a 15-minute drive.
Yeah. So it took 45 minutes to get home. So I didn't want to be like, so honestly, once I got 95, then I kind of did want to turn around and just get her. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, to have to drive home and drive back out here. But then at like 9:30ish or whatever, like it didn't look like it was snowing that bad. And then I texted her and she's like, why don't you come for like 10:30? And I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, I'm going to leave a little early because I know what the roads are going to be like, 'cause how bad they were earlier. So I left at like a few minutes before 10. Roads looked like it didn't snow.
Right.
It was like fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was such a crazy difference.
People complained about snow, and I'm like, what snow?
Yeah.
But it barely snowed, and I probably went to bed like 10:30.
Yeah.
And I had the windows open, not the blinds and shades had open because I like love watching snow and everything.
Yeah.
And it didn't snow, but I woke up the next day and there was an inch of thick ice on my car.
Yeah, it was such weird weather. So then, like, I'm driving there. So then, like, I kind of feel bad because then I'm like, she could have just stayed. Well, I guess by that, once we did the contingency, then, like, she had to leave early because, like, I wasn't going to keep Sam up until midnight at that point. So, but then I felt bad we didn't just, like, brave it out before and then just go with the original plan. But then, of course, like, so I got there. And, like, I call her a couple minutes from there, and I'm like, I'll be there like 2 minutes. And I pull up, and I wait a minute, and nothing. And I call, and then somebody's beeping at me, so I drive around the block. I wait a minute. I call again. It happens like 4 times. So now by the time she gets in the car, like, I'm pissed off because, like, I said I was coming like 15 minutes ago. Like, what are you doing? And what really annoyed me was, and apparently she was in the kitchen, like saying bye to people, but they were like playing a game in the living room, like I can see in the window. So I'm sitting there looking at him I'm looking at him like, tell me she's in there playing this game with them and is like, wait until something's finished before she comes out. I'm like, I'm getting madder and madder. So then by the time she comes out, I'm like mad about it. And then she's like, oh, you're just looking for a reason to fight with me. And I was like, no, I really wasn't. I was like, I promise I was driving here. Like I felt bad because you totally could have just stayed the whole time. Like, we made the snow contingency for no reason. Like I was in a perfectly good mood until it took you 15 minutes to get outside. Like, yeah, I totally overreacted to that, but I was not in a bad mood all night and like coming here to fight with you. And then she was fine with it then. But
hey, you're growing as a person.
Yeah, I mean like a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But like if it happened like 2 weeks from now, not 2 weeks, 2 Sam weekends, like they had another thing, you'd be like, nah, nope.
Yeah.
You'd start like, and it, like right now, it's probably not as bad, but in the summer, it's probably even harder for you because like the summer you can do way more.
Yeah, true. I mean, all we'd really do on Saturday night is just like, like we like all watch a movie and stuff. But I mean, again, but we only really get to do that every couple of weeks, so I don't know. That's why I always think it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But
so on Sunday we both saw Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Before you gripe or complain or do anything about the movie,
it was good.
The chemistry between all the characters was amazing.
Yeah,
like between Black Panther and his sister, and like Forrest Whitaker was terrible.
Well, I never liked him in anything.
No,
No, but
almost
you know
not.
what was awesome? The
What?
young Forrest Whitaker.
Oh, young Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah,
It was
'cause he
crazy
had the
how.
droopy eye.
Yeah, it was crazy how the two young guys, like
Mm.
you hear them planning something, and they have like I guess the Americanized like Oakland thing,
Yeah.
and then the old Black Panther comes in and he changes to like his African voice,
Yeah.
and the other guy still has the American voice. He's like, "What's going on?" And then he's like the Black Panther's like, "Hey, he's a spy too," and like they all have African voices
Yeah.
now. Like it was
That's
such
cool.
they were all spies and. No, I think the chemistry between like and Black Panther and like all his like
Yeah.
main royal guard, the
His sister
spy
was
and the
funny.
sister, and, like it was all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Allie had to go to the bathroom, and Kelly missed what I thought was the best part of the movie, where she's describing, where she's like showing him the gadgets, and then he's like, "What's this?" And he's like, "The real question is, what's those? Like, what's that?" And she looks at it, makes fun of his sandals.
She's like, "What is that?"
Yeah, and then she's like, slide these on. They're sound dampening. I call them sneakers.
She was great. I think it's from the trailer, where they're like on the plane and like the royal guard. It's actress from The Walking Dead. I can't think of her name right now, but she's awesome in that. She's awesome in this movie and everything.
Yeah.
And she's like telling him, and she's like, "Don't freeze." Like when he's seeing
Oh,
like
yeah.
the girl he's like in love with,
Yeah.
he's like, "Don't freeze." And it's like, "What?" I never freeze. And then he falls out. And then he sees her. He's like completely freezes. And it's like it's such a guy thing to do. Like talking all this shit, and then like does the exact thing that someone warned him not to do. And
Yeah.
like I'm like, I feel for him.
Yeah.
You know, like I would probably do the same thing.
Yeah, I feel like everyone was like really relatable in the movie. Yeah, the casting was good. Everybody was good.
I like how they did have like a lot of actual African actors.
Yeah, I like that it was. I liked how organic the movie was. I think part of why this movie was so popular is that, it's I was just one of the first big like black blockbusters with like mostly like black actors and stuff.
Not even just black actors, African
True.
actors.
But the fact that it was organic, that it wasn't Tyler Perry, it wasn't some shoehorned in thing like pandering to a certain community. Like this was the next Marvel story they were telling. Like it was just the next movie. It was just like Spider-Man or Captain America.
It didn't seem
else.
fake.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like it was one of the best. Like the characters getting along and feeling like you said, organic. Like the chemistry that the characters had between each other.
Yeah.
It felt like I was watching a documentary, not a movie. It was crazy. Like that's how good they were together. So it made it no matter what happened in the movie, like I still would have liked the movie.
Yeah.
And then you have the American Michael B. Jordan coming in, and like Black Panther. Oh, spoiler warning! A Black Panther comes up and he's like, I didn't yield, and I'm not dead.
Yeah.
And like he has this, and then Michael B. Jordan has this like American attitude that I'm so used to. He's like, that challenge shit is over. Like he waves it off, like he does the wave and everything, and I'm like, I'm so used to that attitude. Like he shows the individualism of the American society compared to the collectivism of the African societies. Like he shows the difference between the two cultures.
What's the thing? So is this movie like a little racist? Like in that, I feel like one of the stereotypes is that like people that come over from Africa are like hardworking and like people that have been in America for a long time like have all these negative stereotypes associated with them. And did that sort of happen in this movie? Was it sort of racist against like African Americans versus like, like what you're saying is a positive? Could you, I mean, not that I want to do that, but like, do you think somebody's going to paint that as a negative for this movie?
I don't think so because it's not really a stereotype. Like not to sound racist, but stereotypes.
I'm just going to sound real racist. Don't say it.
Stereotypes have a basis.
Yeah.
Like there's a basis. It's not a stereotype. It's not him as a black American stereotype. it's him as an American. Like you don't,
Yeah.
like you could tell the attitudes of real American. Like he went. There's no stereotype in that character. He went to MIT. Like he became, a good foreign operator.
Yeah.
He just happened to be. He just happened to have African heritage, but it
Yeah.
shows the difference between that American culture he grew up and the African culture.
Yeah.
Like he didn't respect. He fought them their way, but
Yeah.
once he won, he didn't respect their way anymore.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm an individual.
Mhm.
I want it my way. So it was a culture clash. It wasn't a race clash.
True. That's a good point. Yeah. And I thought it was. I mean, it was a great message because they really start to build up this this sort of like the American Black Panther group, like this real militant like we're gonna fix racism by being racist to other people. We're gonna take out other people.
Right.
And then the message in the end was like, nah, we should just like all help each other. That's how we end racism, to not be racist.
Right. Right. I just and that's and I take away that same thing too. But like I said, like I take away like I don't see Michael B. Jordan's character
Yeah.
as a black guy. I see him as an American.
You just think America's fucked in general.
Yeah, definitely. I see him as an American because that attitude he comes over with, like he did, I've seen
Yeah.
people in my own household have that attitude. That shit's done and over with. It's the new time,
Yeah.
And when he busts in and he challenges, he's like, "Hey, Auntie,"
Yeah.
So I think it was like it was a good culture clash.
Yeah. Oh, that was the funny thing. I mean, I told you about this. The anti thing made me think of it. But I told you about this on Sunday or Saturday, whenever it was. But for our 5 listeners, it was really funny. So we're at the mall Friday night, and Kelly's friend, other Brittany, not the one who had the birthday party.
Oh, cool, Brittany,
Cool
not
Brittany.
self-proclaimed cool, Brittany.
Exactly. So Kelly went to Sephora, and me and Sam kept walking with Brittany, and I was like, Sam, once mommy spends all our money at Sephora, Brittany's your new mommy. And then she kept saying it to him, like, Sam, I'm your mom. And Sam was like, you're not my mom. And then she kept saying it, and she's like, Sam, I'm your mother. And she's like, and Sam's getting madder and madder. You're not my mother. My mother is home at mommy's house. And then he just goes like getting louder and louder until he's screaming at her like in the mall. My mother is home at mommy's house with Auntie and with John. that's his John's his uncle. And he's like screaming at her. And then like a while went by, and then like she wasn't even doing it to him anymore. And then he just went up to her and he listed off his family. He was like it's Owie, and it's mommy, and it's daddy, and it's Sam, and it's mommy, and it's Auntie, and it's John, and it's Sam. That's my whole family. And basically telling her like she's not part of it. So like he was not letting it go.
Yeah, that's got to be like a pretty good burn.
Yeah.
When a 3-year-old tells you like he goes into detail about how you're not part of his family.
It really did. He was really mad about it.
Sam doesn't want to be neglected by her anyway. So
Yeah. So I don't know. Talking to somebody at work, they were saying about how their kid is like touching people's butts like at school, and like how it's weird with like a 3-year-old, like how you like how do you explain how that's inappropriate or whatever, like the implications of it. And then we're at the mall. Then Sam like grabbed Brittany's butt because like he just does. So then like I texted that girl. I was like, yeah. So Sam does the same thing sometimes. I mean, it's one of Kelly's friends. It's not other kids at school. Yeah. And like I don't really blame him, but like whatever.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Also, I'm a little jealous. Sam, if you're gonna grab an ass, you're gonna grab it like this, and you just show him how to. Yeah. You look up, a ring's flying at your face.
Just try to teach him the right way.
Yeah. What do you mean you break it over me?
Just good parenting.
Yeah, definitely.
But I feel like we had all these topics at the beginning of the show, and I don't remember what they were now that we talked about. We talked about Marvel Live, talked about Saturday. I was listening to, this is totally unrelated to anything. So my favorite musical is Jekyll and Hyde. You should definitely see it. I've seen it multiple places. Like that's how much. Like I've only probably seen like 4 or 5 musicals in my life, and I've seen Jekyll and Hyde in multiple places. But it's just so good. So the story, I think it follows pretty close because I think you know like the book story better. So tell me how close it is to it.
Okay.
But essentially it's that, it's really good because it combines sort of like the Enlightenment, sort of like, we can fix all the world's problems with science, like ideal, with good versus evil is essentially the two big themes. So the guy's father is like, I guess has dementia at this point essentially, and he's trying to fix them with the idea that like, the dementia is really like some dark part of him that's like taking over. So he's trying to invent some sort of medicine that will, sort of split off that dark part of his personality so he can come back to the light. So it's like a lot of light and dark imagery and stuff through like all the songs. And in doing that, it's sort of unethical. So he experiments on himself, and essentially it causes his like light and dark side to split in half. So it gives him like dissociative, that DID, whatever, identity disorder, right. Where he basically has a second evil personality. So that's Hyde, who then goes and like kills all these rich people. But even that's like feels satisfying during the play because he's killing hypocrites basically. He's killing like he kills like a bishop that like is sleeping with prostitutes. He kills like a general that's like stealing money. So even though Hyde's evil, he's like essentially like Jekyll's id, the stuff that like you want to do, right. But that like as a person and like in society that like you can't do. Like he's punishing evil people, but like it's not really his right to do it. And then the best there's like a few really good songs. One, it's Facade, and it's about like how everyone's a liar basically, and it's a great song. And then like the whole murder sequence is awesome. And then the best song, there's a song called Confrontation towards the end of it, where and the times I've seen it done, like it's always done about the same way. Essentially like the guy that plays Jekyll and Hyde, like he has like one side of his hair up, one side down, and essentially he starts singing in the beginning of the song his like opening song, which is like to his father that he's not going to give up and he's going to find a way to save him. And then like part of the way through the song, like Hyde breaks in, and like it's the first time that he doesn't have like control of when Hyde's there, because the other time is when he took the medicine, but now Hyde's like taking over his personality. So Hyde breaks in like mid song, and then they're like arguing about like there's a line like that Hyde's just the face in the mirror, once he closes his eyes will be gone, and then Hyde answers back like, I'm what you see when you look in the mirror. Like Hyde's him now. And it's cool when they do it because he goes back and forth, and like the lights go off and on, depending on which character he's doing. So it's pretty awesome.
So, question, and this is kind of meant to be a dad joke.
Yeah.
But so his diplomas and degrees don't go to Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
I don't get it.
Like when he still be Dr. Hyde?
Oh, I guess he would be, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
It's the same person.
he's still. Well, I guess so.
Yeah, like maybe Mr. Hyde is mad and killing because like Dr. Jekyll is disrespecting him. Like it's the same person. He's like, look, I also earn these degrees, and you're just calling me a Mister.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good point. That's probably where all the anger's from.
Yeah,
that's why he's killing all the hypocrites.
Yeah, he's super pet. He's killing hypocrites because he himself is a hypocrite.
Yeah,
and he's being petty.
It's true. Oh, the petty story. Was this the segue to the pettiest story ever?
No, but I like it. It's a good petty story. Because you would do this.
Yeah,
I probably would too.
Was it Denmark?
Yeah.
So
yep.
So the Prince of Denmark just died.
Prince cohort.
Prince consort.
Consort. Yeah.
Prince consort of Denmark just died. So he's basically just a French guy, and he married the woman that would become the Queen of Denmark like 50 years ago.
Dude. Him young, super handsome.
I'm sure that's how you become a prince.
Yeah.
So he married her like 50 years ago. Like there's all these pictures and stuff. They look like super happy together. I mean, they were together for 50 years. Like you have to assume something was working right. But one of his demands when he died was that he will not be buried next to her, and the reason why is because when she became queen like 40 years ago, he wanted to be the consort of Denmark, and she said, "No, you're still just the prince consort of Denmark." And he's been mad about it for like 40 years, and apparently this whole time said he's not going to be buried next to her. And she never. I mean, it sounds like at any point she could have just been like, "Oh no, you're the king now," but she just stuck to her guns for their entire adult lives. She wasn't going to do it.
Yeah, because you can. I think the rule is, you become queen,
Yeah.
but you don't ever become king.
Okay.
Like you like a woman will marry a king and become a queen.
Yeah.
They won't be princess, but you can't marry a queen.
Yeah.
And become king.
Okay.
That's the thing. Like the queen can make you a king, but you'll never be king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even though that logically doesn't make any sense, it feels right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, that it's just how it works. Like if she's the ruler, like Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Even though her husband is king, I
Yeah.
think he's king, right?
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he never had the title.
Yeah. Yeah. He'll never have the title. He'll never be king. Now her son is Elizabeth, right?
William.
William.
Yeah. William and Harry.
No. Those are the grandsons.
Yeah.
Her actual.
Philip.
Yeah, Philip.
Yeah.
Will never be king because she won't step down until he he dies.
Yeah, she's not gonna die. Oh, great unrelated line today. The one doctor I work with I think he's 71 now. He has this really old patient he's been following for bladder cancer, and so once you've had it, it could always come back. So he does a cystoscopy once a year, to check for bladder cancer, and sorry, I was getting real distracted looking stuff up. Yeah. So and the guy asked him today, like, I haven't had a recurrence in like a lot of years. Like, how long are we gonna do this? And his answer back was, until one of us dies.
Yeah. So look it up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's Prince Charles Prince Charles of Wales. Prince of Wales. That's her son.
Okay.
And he's 69 and she won't step down. She doesn't want him to be king.
Yeah.
But I don't think her husband is actually king.
Is her husband Philip?
I'm checking now.
Is her husband still alive?
Yeah. But I think he stepped down because he was sick.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, sometimes it's a little harder to find things on Wikipedia as you're going over the marriage right here. So, do you think? I don't know. Yeah, Prince Philip. Yeah.
Okay.
He's Prince Philip. Yeah.
So I feel like it feels right because of so if you look at sort of old timey customs, you have the idea that you have this big manly powerful king, and then he takes whatever woman he wants to be the queen. So
he's the husband and consort of Elizabeth II.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Prince Philip. Yeah, he's not king.
Yeah. So I feel like if you think about it in sort of old timey terms, it feels right that you could that the king would make a queen, but the other way around doesn't feel the same way. I don't know.
Right. Well, in inheritance wise, the queen can become, if there's no son heirs, becomes the queen, and the guy never becomes the king. Her first son becomes king.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? Because him being king, he wasn't heir to the throne.
Yeah.
But a king marries a queen, she'll never become the ruler.
Yeah.
Because once they have children, the children become king or queen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
makes sense too.
Yeah. So you can marry into a queen, but you can't marry into a king.
Yeah.
You'll always just be prince.
Have I talked about Prince Harry on here before though? Because he's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He's like a real man's man.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
If I married a queen
Yeah.
and she's like, "You're gonna stay prince," I'd be pretty petty too. Like, come on, maybe king. But
yeah.
it's a pretty good life.
Yeah. But like, while I think people always liked William, like, because he was like the cute one or whatever.
Right.
Harry's like just like the redheaded stepchild looking one. But he's also the one, because there's this ancient tradition of like the English monarchs like fighting in like the cavalry. So he enlisted to fight with an armored unit in Afghanistan.
Yeah, he became a captain or something.
Yeah, well, but the thing was, he wasn't, because he's, they obviously don't want him to get hurt, so he wasn't supposed to be anywhere near the combat. So he basically like disobeyed orders and like went into combat.
Yeah.
So he's my favorite prince.
Yeah. Prince, her husband.
Yeah.
I forgot his name already.
Philip?
Prince Philip. Yeah. Yeah, he is the prince of Greece and Denmark.
Ah.
Her future husband, Prince Philip of Greece and Denmark. His dad
Yeah.
was the king of Greece and Denmark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
So I guess they're related. They're related to the people in Denmark too.
What's the thing? They're all I mean all the royal families are always all
First
intermarried
and second cousins.
Yeah. So it was just one big family reunion.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean everybody has that hot cousin, I guess.
Yeah.
But but they were probably real inbred looking cousins at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, the blood was real bad.
Yeah.
And then, the best thing for him was war.
Yeah.
They just kept changing. The Tudors and the Windsors and all that other stuff. So, have you ever actually? I got real bored at work one time, and I tried to like backtrack all like the kings and everything.
Yeah.
This like House Windsor only goes back to like 1800s. Then it's like a real mess.
Yeah.
But they're kings and queens of like the different countries and all this other stuff. So it's like there'll be king of England and Greece and Denmark, but like a Duke Earl of Scotland.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? And then depending on the different countries, they have different names too.
Well, I'm pretty sure CGP Grey on YouTube like did like history of like the monarchs of England.
Yeah. It's just they have different names.
Yeah.
Depending on what country. Like Scotland, Ireland, England, they'll have different names.
Yeah.
So it's almost impossible to follow. And then there was one king a while back, like 16 or 1700s. He was king, then he lost his kingship.
Yeah.
Then once the guy who took it from him died, he was next in line for it. So he became king again.
All right. Yeah, it sounds. Extra Credits just did their extra history they just did was on Khosrow. What's his name? I don't know. He was a Persian like monarch basically, at the time of like Justinian, and that's like his story. He like came in power, lost power, came in power again, by like killing people.
Yeah, and then all the minor kingdoms that they had.
Yeah.
And then one king ruled over all those kings.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much. I got bored, but then I got frustrated.
Yeah.
So then I just started looking at mobsters, and then the mobster families. That's even worse.
It's probably Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about Amazon Prime?
Oh, I just got Amazon Prime again, first time in like 4 years. There's no reason to leave the house other than to get fresh food.
Only because you live here.
Yeah,
because if you live in like a real city.
Yeah, if I lived in a city, like it'd be a lot easier. So I just ordered shampoo and deodorant on Amazon Prime, and two free days shipping.
I just ordered protein powder for the first time. I'm gonna try it out, see if I feel like it makes a difference. Cause I was watching a couple picture fit videos on the YouTubes.
Oh, by the way, on YouTube you should subscribe to Holy Costa.
Yes, agreed. And maybe on those other things too.
Yeah, that Kevin
the
has
Apple Store and the
podcast, Last FM, Spotify.
Yeah, those things
that Kev didn't do any research on.
Yeah, but but yeah, so they had a couple of videos. The one was interesting, because I mean at this point now, after I've been exercising for a while, like I want to get like a little like bigger. But really, I feel like I just want my like to be my appropriate body shape because like I'm a little bulkier anyway, so I feel like I should be more muscular. But I also want to lose weight because of the sleep apnea thing. But there's only one study you talked about, but it sort of looked more and more into protein stuff. And I feel like when I first started working out, like when I was doing it for a few months initially, I remember saying, I think I probably said it here, like, I don't know when you get to the point when you're like, I need to add extra calories to my diet and like do like protein supplements and stuff. But what it's actually about is, adding protein in particular, because the idea if you're going to the gym and wasting all this time anyway, like you might as well get the most benefit out of it. But the interesting thing was there's been at least one study, I think there's more now, that showed that, increased protein intake actually helps you lose weight, even though you're taking in more these extra calories. And the thing that you sort of see everywhere is just to have at least 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight when you're doing like any sort of strength training, which is still a lot. I mean, for me, that would be, what about like at least 100 grams? That'd be about 100 grams of protein. So, I mean, that's a lot.
A day?
Yeah, per day.
Oh, wow.
So if you're doing less than that, you're essentially not maximizing how much muscle you could be building.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, so you probably also need more.
Yeah. I don't eat enough at all.
Yeah, but then
Protein. I eat plenty, just not enough protein.
Yeah. Well, that's always what I figured. I was like, I eat a balanced, like a fairly balanced diet. I was like, I must be getting like enough through there, but I don't think you actually make that goal. But then there was the study they cited where they took a group, like 2 groups of like similar, like healthy but like just like mildly active like adult males, and they gave them like a 6-day week workout routine and like a certain diet to follow, and they gave both groups protein shakes, but they gave the one group essentially enough protein shake to make make a little over the 1 gram per kilogram. So like that you normally say
1 gram per kilogram.
Yeah,
I got to do the math on that for me.
so it's probably like around 100 grams for you, because it'd be like it's 2.2 kilograms in a pound. Right. So you figure 100 kilograms would be like 220 pounds.
106.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not bad.
So the one group had 1.2 grams per kilogram of extra protein, or protein total in their diet with the protein shakes. The other group took enough protein shakes to make 2.4 kilograms or grams per kilogram. So essentially 1 gram for every pound of weight you have is essentially what they made it, which is like ridiculous. Like it's a ridiculous amount of protein. And what they found was both groups lost weight over the 6 weeks, even with all that extra calorie intake from the protein supplements. Both groups lost weight, but the 2.4 milligram per gram group, that was taking like 4 protein shakes a day, gained some lean muscle, but they lost about the same amount of weight. So then what that meant was that the higher protein intake group actually lost about 50% more fat once you factored in like the lean protein gain plus the weight loss.
I'll be on Amazon later.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what. So yeah, so after I saw that, I just bought like the cheapest protein powder because I never used it before. So I figured I'll try it out, see if I really do notice a big difference or not. Right. I think it was good for me to wait until now, so because I'm sort of like, I'm not really at a plateau, because like I've been doing more of the squat and the bench press stuff, and I feel like that's a newer thing for me, like the fake squats and bench press, but like it's like a newer thing for me. So I feel like that's pushed me along a little bit more, but I feel like if I had done the protein stuff like in the beginning, maybe I'd be like a little bigger now, but I feel like it would have been like a waste for a while. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna steal my roommate's protein.
Yeah.
Until mine comes from Amazon.
I think that same tub has been there for like a long time.
I know. I'm just gonna start drinking it. But here's the thing: protein tastes terrible.
Yeah.
No matter what you put it in. Oh, I got. I used to put it in coffee.
Yeah.
And when I used to have it, it would just clump up and be disgusting.
So coffee's actually a good idea because caffeine is one of like the only like proven like non-steroid like effective workout supplements.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So I hope we didn't bore you enough
yeah,
too much tonight,
just
but
some parts of it.
I thought it was a pretty good episode.
Just skip around.
yeah, just skip around, look at it, think of us naked, whatever you want, because we're like
Yeah.
two buff dudes now.
Yeah,
All right.
buffish.
Well, thanks for listening to this week's Whole Week Costa.